Chapter 1. Covenant as the governing law. Pages 7 to 10 of The question that remains is not whether. God does not measure devotion by knowledge alone. He measures it by covenant action. Prophetic Witness Edition. By Mark Tyson, Trent, Lichtenwalter. Page 7. The Dead Sea Scrolls preserve information that was not intended for institutional control. Their purpose was not to sustain a hierarchy, but to transmit knowledge forward in time until the appointed season of discernment arrived. Among the materials preserved are descriptions of a final prophetic servant whose role is not to establish a new orthodoxy, but to interpret, expose, and prepare. These descriptions are not abstract. They include physical traits, developmental patterns, intellectual formation, and social consequences. This is unusual in prophetic literature. Most prophets are identified by message alone. The final prophet is identified by convergence. The Dead Sea Scrolls describe him as one who initially knows nothing. He is not raised in religious prominence. He is not groomed. For a significant portion of his early life, he gives no heed to the things of God. Isaiah calls him blind and deaf in his youth. This is not condemnation. It is insulation. God does not entrust this calling to someone already embedded in religious power structures. The servant must first be untouched by them. Then comes interruption. The servant learns from the records. He is taught by God directly. Mysteries given to earlier prophets are made known to him. He is not simply informed of doctrine. He is given interpretive authority. The Dead Sea Scrolls describe him as one who knows the secrets of men and the secrets of living things. This knowledge is not voyeuristic. It is diagnostic. He understands inner workings, motives, trajectories, and covenant standing. This capacity makes him dangerous to false authority. Because he does not flatter, he is rejected. Because he reveals, he is resisted. This pattern matches the servant songs of Isaiah and the lament psalms. The servant is mocked, humiliated, misunderstood, and isolated. Friends stand afar off. Loved ones cannot comprehend his path. Yet he persists because his task is not approval. It is witness. Page 8. The Psalms add emotional texture to the portrait. They show a servant who sometimes blunders, who speaks too quickly, who feels the weight of rejection. This is not a sanitized figure. It is a human one. This is important. The final prophet is not infallible in behavior. He is authoritative in commission. The Psalms describe his zeal, his anguish, his frustration with misunderstanding, and his trust in God despite social abandonment. These texts are not incidental reflections. They are diagnostic markers. Those who expect the servant to be universally admired will miss him. Those who expect refinement without friction will reject him. Isaiah adds another critical detail: the servant's appearance and reputation are marred. This marring is both physical and social. He is not impressive by conventional standards. His message offends the religiously secure. The Dead Sea Scrolls go further. They preserve physical identifiers that modern readers often dismiss because of discomfort. These descriptions were preserved because recognition would matter later. The servant bears distinctive markings. He is physically unlike other men. He does not blend easily. These features function as identifiers, not glorifications. This is not mythic symbolism. It is practical transmission. The servant's education follows a specific pattern. He learns from 3 bodies of record. He spends a portion of his ministry uncertain of direction. This is not failure. It is alignment. Only after this period does clarity come. When it does, his speech becomes sharp. Isaiah says his mouth is like a sharpened blade. His tongue is skilled. His ear is awakened morning by morning. He writes quickly. He moves constantly. He is not static because stasis would invite destruction. God hides his servant in motion. Page 9. The servant's message inevitably brings confrontation. Isaiah records a rhetorical challenge issued by the servant, "Who dare contend with me?" This is not arrogance. It is covenant confidence. The confrontation is not with the world at large, but with false prophets and religious rulers who claim authority without divine commission. Isaiah says kings are silenced because of him. This does not refer primarily to political monarchs. It refers to rulers among God's people, those who govern belief, practice, and access to sacred things. The servant exposes their standing. He reveals destinies. He interprets prophecy in a way that removes plausible deniability. This is why rejection is so severe. Those who profit from ambiguity resent clarity. Those who rely on tradition resent fulfillment. The servant also announces hope. He declares that the Messiah reigns. He prepares the faithful, both among Judah and Ephraim, for recognition rather than surprise. The Dead Sea Scrolls reveal Ephraim as Melchizedek in identity, not merely in symbolism. This priesthood reality was lost when institutional authority replaced revelatory fidelity. The servant's role is not to reinvent doctrine, but to restore comprehension. He interprets the law. He explains the prophets. He tells what will happen to the elect, those who choose God's will. God holds accountable those who refuse to hear him. This accountability is not enforced by the servant. It is enacted by covenant. The servant may be imprisoned briefly. The Psalms indicate confinement without permanence. This aligns with the pattern of preservation rather than martyrdom. The servant must remain alive to finish the witness. Page 10. This prophetic profile explains why the restoration could not conclude with Nauvoo. The failure to complete the house did not end God's purposes. It altered their trajectory. The fullness of the priesthood could not be restored through administration. It required divine presence. When that presence did not occur, restoration had to be deferred. Deferred restoration necessitates a witness. Joseph Smith taught that an everlasting covenant existed between three personages before the foundation of the earth: the Creator, the Redeemer, and the Witness. Creation, redemption, and testification are distinct labors. The witness does not redeem. He testifies. He exposes Babylon. He sets the house in order. He prepares the way for the return of the Father and the Son. This framework resolves the tension created by Nauvoo's failure. Without a witness, rejection would imply abandonment. With a witness, rejection becomes preparation. The servant does not replace Christ. He testifies of him. He does not create covenant. He calls men back to it. He does not compel belief. He removes ignorance. This is why recognition is not universal. It is elective. Those who choose comfort over truth will reject him. Those who choose discernment over tradition will recognize him. The Dead Sea Scrolls did not preserve these details for curiosity. They preserved them for identification. The time of identification arrives when institutions no longer produce revelation,